Yeah, girl. I was eating. Um, okay. Hey, girl.
Hey girl.
Okay. We gonna keep our cameras off, but we gonna turn them on.
Do we need to turn them on? Are you recording?
I'm recording, but of course I'm gonna edit it.
It don't matter. We can.
Okay. We can keep them off. It's fine.
Okay.
So you laugh too much. That's the problem. Okay, so this is the first episode of the Lady Safe Space podcast. Um,
Right?
Thank you for coming on with me, Laisha.
Yes.
So I made the podcast just to kind of like serve as like a gathering
Mm,
spot, a virtual gathering spot for women to just talk about a lot of things we all go through.
yeah.
Just release with no criticism and no judgment. So this is a no judgment zone. Um, so tonight topic is do
Oh, Lord.
it's the single lady life. Do I really want some dick? Do you want that
Okay.
D? Do you really
Okay.
want that D? So it's a very interesting topic because reading the title, it's like, okay, why would I ask myself that? Of course we want the dick, but it's a story behind it. I feel like
What's the
dating.
story, Gabby? What is the story?
So listen, so I asked myself that one night, like I was sitting in my living room and I was just drinking wine and I was vibing, listening to my music, smoking my hookah, like how I like to do. And was talking to somebody at the time, but we were not sexually involved. We were just getting to know each other. And
Hmm.
so because I wanted that like male presence around myself, I said, dang. And I hadn't had sex in a very long time when I was talking to that person. And the fact we didn't do it yet kind of made me like, you know, feel confident about our situation because I know that's not the only reason why he's sticking around.
Right.
So I had I think I had the whole bottle of wine by the time I kind of got the thought in my head to send him a text.
Oh my God.
So I was like, yeah, I think I want some dick tonight. But then I was like, you might not need to do that. And I
Yeah.
was like, do I really want some dick though? Like, do I really want to put myself in that situation to get more emotionally attached to somebody? And I ain't even sure if this is the right one for me yet. It's like, then when you share your body with somebody new, you want to make sure they clean. So then it's like you go through that stress, anxiety, and it's like after we do it, is he really gonna like me like that, or he just gonna feel like, oh, he can do whatever he want after that? You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like sometimes with men, it's like hard to tell because it's like they act a certain way before you give them the cookie, and then after you give them the cookie,
Yes.
they just go left. They little assholes. So it's like all those things started to come into my mind. I was like, do you really want some dick that bad? That you're willing to open up all those different doors of possibilities. So that's why I thought to myself, I said, dang, I wonder if other women be feeling like that. Like when you just tired of like being alone all the time,
Hmm.
but like, okay, you got a little alcohol in your system. If you invite this man over this evening at 9, 10 o'clock and he see you got the vibe set, you already know what he thinking. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? Like we not in preschool. So sometimes I just feel like as women, we gotta be open with ourselves when we are in those moments. Like you might think that's what you want because it feels good for the moment, but after the aftermath that's a whole different ball game.
I
And
feel
go
I
ahead.
feel I feel like I feel like every woman has been there and felt that way before because I definitely had a phase when I was feeling the same way. And I'm not saying that I was just out here just fucking niggas, but niggas that I was talking to that I really liked, I was
Mhm.
giving it up because,
Right.
you
You was
know,
attracted. You was attracted.
yeah, I was attracted to them. But I feel like at that time too, I was vulnerable too because, like you said, like, we get tired of being lonely. Like we be
Yeah.
wanting that male presence, you know, to have somebody here, have somebody to go on dates with, have somebody to cuddle with, and all type of shit like that. So I feel like sometimes we confuse wanting that with just wanting to fuck them, like
Exactly. It's like I know the biggest mistake I think I made when dealing with a guy is I imagine what we could be,
right.
but it's
And
not really that.
you cannot do that.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest downfall, and that's why I be getting my feelings hurt so bad because I always be thinking like, oh, we gonna look so cute in matching pajamas for Christmas, or yeah, we would have some cute kids. It's like I'm getting all these different possibilities in my head, but the whole time this nigga really ain't shit.
Yeah.
And he ain't got the right intentions at all. Like longevity don't be on their mind. Like I'm sorry to say, I know all men in the millennial day and age are not like that, but it's
Yeah.
slim pickings out here. Like it's hard. Like they're trifling. It's hard, and it's like I feel like the hardest part for me. I feel like more men desire me than they do value me,
Mm-hmm.
and that's sometimes it hurts
But
because
you also, but you gotta like, you gotta like, what's the word I'm looking for? You kind of gotta make them like value you because if you giving it up, like the first time y'all hanging out, or you giving it up quick, they not gonna respect you like that. You know
right,
what I'm saying? That's why
right,
I feel like sometimes in some situations that may not be the case. Like some niggas probably don't care, but I feel like it's important to get to know somebody for real first before you just give them your body.
yeah, yeah, because even if they do stick around after that, they start doing whatever the hell they want to do. And they start
Exactly.
messing with you on their time because they feel like
Yes.
you don't got that open door. They got that open door policy now. It's like, well, shit,
Right.
I done did what I came to do. I'll see you. I'll see you when I see you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, and that's that shit. See, I act fool when they get like that. Because,
And see, Abby, you need to stop acting like that.
but it's like I've had different situations where I have had some sex with somebody after the first encounter.
Hmm.
And we actually hit it off a little bit after that. Like I was shocked. But like
Yeah.
some men don't view that as I think it's all about the person and their perspective. Some men, I feel like little younger men per se, like they take advantage of stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I've had older men that I talk to, and to them it's nothing. It's like shit, that just let me know we vibing, we got chemistry. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, so it's about the maturity level too.
Yeah.
Just because, and I want guys to stop thinking just because a female lets you hit on the first night, that don't mean shit. Hoe. She might have just really been attracted to you
Right.
and made that grown woman decision to say, okay, yeah, I think I want to give him some. I think I want to get some.
Because I used to think that, like, oh no, I can't have sex with him on the first night or so soon, because then he gonna
Yeah,
think this and think on that. But I got to a point where it's just like I don't care. Like I do what I want to do. If that's what I want to do, and I'm gonna do that, and nobody can judge me for that because I know I'm not a hoe. I
yeah.
just
It's
I wanted
about
it in the moment, so that's what I
yeah,
got.
exactly. And see, I've been in situations where I've had a certain group of girlfriends that have been like, oh, I just can't do that because he's not going to look at me the same, or,
Hmm.
but shit, making him wait 90 days, he could still be a fuck boy. And that's how
Exactly.
I started thinking about it. Like, that timing really, if a nigga wants you, he wants you. And that's just that. But I do have a question since
Mm.
you're in Atlanta
Oh Lord.
and I am no longer in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Um, how is the dating vibe down there as far as the different guys that you encounter? Because I know back when I was staying there, baby, you done had some experiences.
Who, me?
Yes.
Woo, Gabby.
And we gonna leave him anonymous, but the one from Escobar, and he was living with somebody. That was you, and he didn't tell you. Remember, he had dreads, and I said, yeah. I said, yeah, Laisha, that looked like you. He had all this designer on. You
Oh,
remember him?
yeah, I forgot all about that, Gabby. That was a joke. That was a big ass joke. And
No,
but
for real.
but dating in Atlanta honestly really is trash. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. These niggas, they corny. Like some of them are corny, and I feel like some of them be trying to put on like they this and they really not. Like a lot
Mhm.
of people be doing that here in Atlanta. They trying to act like they something that they not, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like I don't really feel like it's genuine like down here. I don't know.
Hmm.
But my encounter so far, mm-mm, it ain't been right. That's why I've been thinking like I don't even know if I don't think my man is in Atlanta. I don't know.
Well, where you think he at? Because and you ain't trying to move.
I know, but I don't know. I
So when you
I
say,
don't want, I'm not gonna say that because anything anything is possible, and it's all kinds of different people that be coming to Atlanta or that live in Atlanta or whatever. That's might not actually from Atlanta, but right now, I don't know if I'm just not going to the right places or what, but it ain't been it.
so let me see. I feel like placing yourself in the right places. I mean, we like the spots like Hyde. We like the hookah lounges. We like all that, but I feel like that's where some of the biggest jokes be at.
Mhm.
Sometimes I feel like the real boss niggas, they not sitting in them spots. Like
But where they sitting at then?
they're literally in the high end fine dining restaurants. Like go if you go in to me, places like Capitol Grill, New
Mhm.
York Prime, in Buckhead by Lennox, like especially Capitol Grill, because I done seen some very, very, very high caliber men. But see, at the time I was with somebody, so of course I couldn't be looking like that. But I was
Mhm.
looking. But that's where the men who are actually men that have things going on that got motion, they be in places like that.
Have you ever been to a place called I think it's called Posh? Posh?
In Atlanta?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, child, apparently that's where the rich niggas be too. But
Oh,
I've heard a lot of people talk about Posh. I think that's what it's called. But they always say it's like a real, real fancy restaurant. Like it's a dress code, like and all that. But everybody say that the food is really good. But me and some of my coworkers was talking yesterday, and it was basically like, if you want to find a rich nigga, you need to go to Posh. So we might have to go there one day.
oh, baby, I'm gonna be in the city in a few weeks. We is definitely going. So yes, that'll definitely be
But
a
yeah,
vibe. Um, what I'm about to say. So as far as the in Atlanta, you said it's trash, but I feel like if you just go in the right areas, like
yeah,
you'll definitely see a different caliber of men. I know for
right.
South Carolina, it's nothing down here. It's absolutely nothing. Like I feel like first of all the black elites that are originally from places like Charleston have moved away,
Really?
aka just like I did when I was in Atlanta. You get what I'm saying? I feel like the kind of men that I got used to in Atlanta, I feel like I met more athletes when I was in Atlanta, of course, but I feel like it's just like the caliber that I'm looking for, it's not in this location. And I think that's what makes it the hardest. And where I'm from, it's like them dudes trapping, scamming, and that's probably pretty much about it. And it's like, who want that? That's cute when we young and we ain't got no goals, but
Hmm.
who want that at this point? Or got about damn 3, 4 baby mamas? Like, I don't have time. I just don't have time, and I can't do the kids thing anymore. Is that still like a big no no of yours, or like what if a guy has a kid?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little more open to it because I just be thinking like, what if it was me and I had a child, like you know, and the niggas was like, oh, I ain't dating nobody. I ain't dating no girl that got kids. I be thinking about that. So I'm a little bit more open. It just depends on the situation, but I rather not. You know, I rather him not have no kids.
But see, I used to like to play stepmama. I did.
What?
I used to like to play stepmama,
For
but
real?
yeah, I did. Like, if a guy had kids and he brought them around me, or we really got locked in and he allowed me to be around his kids or watch his kids while he was away, I grew a liking for them. And like, I used to want to buy them stuff. I used to always want to do stuff like that, but it be the baby mama shit for me.
Mm,
And that's what turns me like, I'm completely turned off by men with kids now. Like, at this point, I need to know all details if I decide to still talk to you and you got a child, because I've been played. I got played real bad. You know my past situation. Like, that
mm.
last person, I was real, we was deep. Well, he was still fucking on that baby mama, but trying to live with me, trying to be up under me in Atlanta all the time. And it's just like,
That's wild. Like,
yeah, like it was, I will never forget. It was one time I was in the kitchen cooking, girl, and she had FaceTime him. And she was like, "Oh, you with your little bitch in Atlanta?" Like, what?
so she knowing, like, she was comfortable with it.
Yeah, she was comfortable with it, but because she felt like, the thing with baby mamas and baby daddies, when you got them baby mamas that still messing with that baby daddy, they gonna, and they know their baby daddy is dating somebody, they gonna purposely keep fucking on their baby daddy, because bitch, that's my baby daddy. I got the kid. Like, I'll do whatever I want with him. Like, and when these niggas go behind their girlfriend's backs and do that shit, that's just giving that bitch ammo. Like, that's just giving her more room to be like, yep, he gonna come every time I call him, and that's why she gonna keep disrespecting the new girl. You get what I'm saying? And that's the shit that I got fed up with, and I think because of that one experience, I just really got turned off from niggas with kids. Like, that was something that, number one, it was betrayal. Number two, you lied to my face every time I fucking asked you. And it's just like, made me feel like I was crazy, or I was tripping the whole time you was doing it. And then the thing about, he finally admitted
He
it.
did?
Yeah, he finally admitted it, like, probably earlier this year, like February of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's just like,
That's
that
so
blew me.
lame. It's just like, I don't understand niggas. Why do that? Like,
Because I think it's a masculinity thing. I think that it's also an insecurity thing. I feel like when they know they can go to their baby mama or their ex bitch or whoever's still gonna pop them legs open for them, that gives them an ego boost. It
mm,
definitely gives them an ego boost. Like,
that's
it,
lame.
and you really a very small man if you feel like you got to do that to feel whole.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree.
that's something within themselves, and that's what I noticed about this generation of niggas. Like, they got a complex, a mental complex going on. Like, what's starting to get to me is, because I feel like I've been on all sides of the spectrum. I've been the friend, I've been the girlfriend, I've been the side bitch. I'm sorry to say, I can be honest and transparent. I've been on all sides of the board.
Right.
So it's just like, I've seen how the things that men do from all different perspectives. Niggas will literally suck your damn reproductive organs out your ass and go right back home to their bitch and kiss them in the mouth. And that's the shit that it
That,
disturbs me.
yes, that pissed me off. That pisses me off because that is fucking disgusting.
It disturbs me because it's like, you really have to be a mental patient to literally have two lives like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's no way you come to my house and you play house with me. I cook Sunday dinner for you. You're on my chair, twisting up your little footsies in your socks, watching a football game, eating
Oh my
food,
God.
cuddling with me. You giving me raw dick and all that. And then you go back, talk about you got a girlfriend to go to?
Yeah.
Huh?
I never understood that shit either. Like, cause I can never do that. Like, I've never been able to do nothing like that.
My conscience too bad. I might have
Yeah.
done some things, but one thing about it, now I have cheated on purpose. I have. It was get back though. It was get back. I felt like I had just caught the person in so much shit to the point I just say, I'm gonna get your ass. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, cause for a minute it made me feel like this nigga must be really thinking I don't got no motion. Like, I'm gonna have to show him. Like, boy, I don't gotta be with you.
Right.
I do not have to be with you. And it's like, I dealt with that. I dealt with that nigga for a year. I dealt with his ass for a year, and this one person just kept bothering me, to like trying to take me out. Please give me time of day. And my person at the time did that one last thing to me. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna take this other dude up on his offer. Like, we gonna go to brunch. We gonna do that. And when I tell you, it was like a breath of fresh air. Like, I put his ass on do not disturb, and I had a fucking ball. And actually, that was when me, you, and Kiba had linked up at Oak.
Oh,
Yes, so that was kind
that's
of
fun.
that dude. I ain't gonna say no names because people, when they listen, they're gonna be nosy as hell. But that person, he was definitely my transition out of what I was in, for sure. Like, even though me and that person didn't work out, I feel like he gave me the energy that I needed to really be like, there's so much more better guys out here, and you wasting your time on this man who don't respect you. He literally dims your lights. And when a nigga start doing that and you really just be crying and depressed, like I remember you used to FaceTime me, and I remember you FaceTime me that one time, and you say, Gabby, what's wrong? And I just bust out and start crying. And you came over to the house, and girl, you had me making that list.
Oh yeah, I remember that too. Oh,
You had
child.
me making that list. And you said, right, one side the good things, right, one side the bad things that he does. And whichever side outweigh, that tell you what you need to do. It was like probably four good things. And then that bad side, baby, it was
That
expensive. Like,
shit was full.
it
Yeah.
was full. And I remember one of them I put calls me bitch when he gets mad. Um, and that shit is like when a man start doing that, first of all, you're abusive.
Yeah.
You're abusive as fuck. Because there's no way you could possibly still think my coochie gonna get wet for you and you be calling me out my name when you angry.
Right. That's so disrespectful though.
Yeah. Like you can't, and it's like it's no taking that back. Like that shit gonna stick with me. It's gonna stick. Like when people say things, especially men, when they say it to women they're involved with, they don't understand. When you say certain things, we never forget that shit. We
Yeah.
might forgive you, but we never fucking forget it. Like you
Yeah.
said that. So I think it was just so much verbal abuse. And it just got me to the point where I finally realized, like, damn, I like it's so much other dudes out here that be begging me for my time and just want to enjoy my presence. And every time I come around to one person I really love, they hurt me in
Right.
numerous ways, whether it's an argument, whether it's them being sneaky. It just got to be too much. And when I started talking to old boy that was at Oak with us,
Mm-hmm.
it was fun. It was refreshing. Like I remember one time I went over to his house and I spent the night. I was like, "Can I get in the shower now?" He was like, "Girl, you don't gotta ask me to take a shower." He was like, "Why are you so like timid?" Because he was like, "You want something out the refrigerator, get it. You don't have to ask me." I used to have to do that with the person I was with. Like
Mm.
I always felt like I had to walk on eggshells around him, or I had to watch how I would say things because he would just blow up or say, "That's dumb. Why would you ask me? That's stupid." You know what I mean? He just became a mean ass person.
Mm-hmm. And see, that's not a good feeling when you gotta act like that, feel like that with your nigga. Like,
Exactly.
mm,
Exactly. And I think getting back to do I want some dick, I probably fucked up because I feel like you gotta learn people before you start sharing your body with them.
that's true.
You gotta really learn people because soul ties are real. And that's definitely what that was. I felt like every time, like at first, he used to be my high when we would be intimate. But then eventually, every time we would have sex, I just started feeling low.
Mm.
Like it got to the point I didn't even put no effort in it. I just laid there because I
Oh no.
didn't crave him no more. Like my body didn't crave him no more.
Mm. That's
And
how.
he knew it because he asked me, he said, "You're not into this. Like you like it just don't feel like the same." And I said, "That's because I don't feel the same."
Mm. And see, I feel like when it gets to that point right there, that's when it was over. Because that's how I knew it was over with me and my ex. Like, because I used to love having sex with him. And then at the end, like you said, you was just laying there and just, it
Mhm.
was so cringy when we was fucking. And I was like, I'm not supposed to feel like this. Like, I
Yes.
felt like he was not supposed to be on top of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like it felt like you were being invaded. Like
Yeah.
you just wanted him off.
Yeah.
And you just never want to feel like that. It's crazy how even sometimes men can make you feel like that, and it's like, damn, you look back at it. There's somebody I used to love, like there's somebody I wanted to be in his skin at one point. You know what I mean? But now it's just like, nigga, I don't even want you touching me. Like, and that is sad. It's sad, and I cried. I cried. It was that last time he came to Atlanta, and I had told him not to come again because
Mhm.
I was on the way to my new nigga house. I was headed to Duluth to
Right.
watch movies and go eat lunch. And he asked me, he said, "Where you going? Where you going?" He said, "I'm about to pack my clothes and come up there." He already knew I was up to some shit. But see, I was so fed up, I didn't even give a fuck. And
Yeah.
so I was just like, I'm going. I had used you. I said, I'm going to have lunch with Laisha. Lied like
What you
I
using me
lied so
for?
bad that day. I lied so bad that day. Whole time I'm going on a date. So he hung up on me. And then like later on that night after, me and old boy, we had a good time at lunch and stuff. And we was watching a movie on Netflix. My phone just started blowing up, blowing up, blowing up. It was like 8 o'clock at this point. So I'm just like, why is he on my phone up like that? I didn't know he had still decided to come. And he got my address, so he had to call me to find out nothing. So he said that he was in my parking garage, and I'm like, well, I'm not home. Like I'm not home. So he was like, "Where you at, hot girl?" Like he already knew I was creeping, and so then I just hung up the phone and I told him text me. So like, old boy looking like, yeah, she got some other shit going on. So I said, well, this was nice. Start getting my stuff. I said, I gotta go. Because he was not gonna stop blowing up my phone. Like, girl, when I left there, like he walked me to my car, he gave me a hug, he kissed me on my mouth. He was just like, let me know when you get home. Like, I did not, when I tell you, I did not want to leave. I
Yeah.
did not want to leave. Like, I used to be in heaven because it was just to be around somebody that ain't had no baggage. Like he had a son, but that him and that baby mama, they were done. You know what I mean? Like it was clear. And so I ain't had nobody calling me out my name that don't even really fucking know me. You know what I mean? Like, I had to deal with that shit. And it's just like when I got to my apartment, I had some carry out in my hand from the restaurant. So my old, dude, he was when he saw it, he was like, "Oh, you went up to eat, you ain't bring me nothing." And I was just like, "No, I didn't." He said, "Why?" I said, "Because I didn't buy this." Tell me someone who paid for it, Alicia. I said, "No, my nigga."
Oh, Gabby. You said that?
Yeah, I did.
You
And
probably got bopped.
for a minute, I thought he was gonna hit me.
That's why I just said you probably got bopped upside their head.
I got choked a little bit. I did. I did.
Oh.
I got choked a little bit. And he was just he it's like he released me when he realized my damn face started turning red. But I got called all types of bitches, and he was just like, "Let me take a bitch out to eat then." I said, honestly, baby, at this point, go ahead. Go ahead. Like that's how I knew I did not care no more because I didn't give a fuck. Like I was letting it, giving it to him raw. Like, yeah, I'm starting to see other motherfuckers because bitch, you don't appreciate me and I'm tired of it.
Yeah.
And I made him sleep on my. I said, "Ain't nobody tell you to come here," and so I made his ass sleep on my couch that night. Like I was such a bitch that night. Like I didn't care, and I made sure I locked my fucking door. I said, "This bitch might try to kill me," but
Mm, 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 mm.
but yeah, that's how I knew I was done. But then he woke up the next day, and then he was like, "You want me to leave for real?" And I said, I don't know. Like I was irritated. I've been irritated with you lately. And he was like, "You really went out to eat with another nigga?" And I said, "Yes." So
Mm.
you fucking this nigga? I was like, no. And then he was just like, it was just a date. I said, yeah. And then he was just like, he was just basically saying like, he took it as a man. He did admit, he was like, well, clearly I ain't doing something right if you at that point where you starting to have
Duh,
a
nigga, you ain't doing something right. The fuck?
exactly. Exactly. And so
Yeah.
well, that's when we took that trip to Seattle. And I didn't even want to go. Cause me and my little boo, we starting to get to know each other. We starting to like each other. We starting to get locked in. And I'm just like, damn, like I'm starting to like, bro, I really don't want you no more. And I said, well, you know what? This situation deserves one last shot. And I used that trip we took to Seattle as, an opportunity to see if we could, maybe if we changed the scenery, how would we interact with each other? And it was good for like a day. Like we did some tourist shit. We went to the Space Needle and we went to the Museum of Pop Culture. And that's when we like it felt like old times again. But
Mm.
then it's like towards the end of the trip, child, we in the hotel room throwing down. So it's
Oh
just like,
my God.
yeah, that's when I knew I was like, this shit too much. And on the way I left a day early too, because I was ready to fucking go. His homeboy was out there, so he stayed. But I told him I was ready to fucking go. He drove me to the airport. And on the way to the airport, he said, you just think both of us got a lot going on. Like that's why we be getting into it so much. I said, honestly, but I don't know. I said, this is just, I can't do it no more. So I got to the airport. As soon as he made sure I got to my gate and stuff. And then when I got on the plane, he had texted me and he was like, Gabby, I just want you to know I'm sorry and I really do appreciate you or whatever. He knew I was like checking out. Like he knew that shit,
Yeah.
And as soon as I got back to Atlanta, I went to go see my new boo. And that's how I knew. I said, yeah, baby, it's over with. It is
Yeah.
over with. But but yeah, like I just feel like now as women, it's tougher for us to find decent guys. And it's like, sex in this generation, this is my opinion. I'm gonna ask you, I don't feel like it's sacred anymore. I
It's
feel like
not
it's recreational.
right.
Like, I don't know if you felt that way, but it's like to me, that's like two people joining, like you're inside each other. So I just feel like, we do it sometimes just us as women, we might, and men, we just do it too freely with anybody.
That's true. I definitely agree with that. That's
And
why I had to because at one point that's what I was doing. I had to reevaluate because I'm like, okay, obviously this isn't getting me nowhere, with my relationship. So
right,
I just felt like I had to do something different. So now it's just like, no, I gotta know, I gotta get to know you a little bit more before, we just start, fucking and shit. Like, no.
right, exactly. Well, um, this was a good start, and
It
this is a
was.
really good topic. And you were great, girl. You got to keep coming on the Lady Safe Day.
Yes, I'm definitely gonna come back.
For sure, for sure. I'll let you know. So that wraps up episode 1. Thank y'all for listening, and be back for episode 2.
Yeah.
All right, bye, girl.
Bye, girl.